Hey everybody, welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, joined by the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. And on tap tonight, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers going up against the Boston Celtics in Boston. You take a look at the Celtics. They were undefeated against this squad last season, going 3-0. We'll see if they can continue that dominance. All right, Shaq, the state of the game when it comes to centers. You know, decades ago you had some of the greatest to ever play the game. How do you rank some of your favorites in the present-day game?
I'm going to just give you a few names, Ernie. DeMarcus Cousins, he can score, he can rebound, he's underrated on defense. Dwight Howard, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Resume speaks for itself, even though I think he should average 28 and 15. Brook Lopez, maybe the best low-post scorer in the game today. Joakim Noah, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, passion and all-around impact. And my last, Ernie, Andre Drummond. He's a beast. It might be his league in a few years.
Those are some good ones. Well done. Let us send it down now to Kevin Harlan as we approach tip-off.
And now your Boston Celtics starting lineup. At the shooting guard position, at 6'6", number 5, Garrett Temple. The big man, standing 6'11", number 40, Jusuf Nurkic. The other guard, at 6'6", number 20, Manu Ginobili. Starting at the other guard, 6 feet 1 inches, number 8, Rajon Rondo. At power forward, 7 feet 1 inch, number 41, Dirk Nowitzki. Your head coach is Brad Stevens.
The Cavaliers coming to an Eastern Conference contest in this game. And as we start the weekend here on this Friday night, this is Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, welcoming you to NBA basketball on 2K Sports. You take a look at the Celtics. They've been picking up some steam, and if they can play this well all season, they'll be in excellent shape.
You know, right now for the Celtics, they've become a team that you really have to watch out for. I mean, just look at where they are in the standings. Remember where they were last year at this time? A big difference.
Yeah, big difference, Clark. It was a tough season a year ago, and as a result, there weren't a lot of expectations coming into this season. So I like what this club has done. I mean, they've really competed. They've come together as a unit. They're well coached and well prepared every night.
And a look at the starters for the Cavaliers. Smith out there with Pekovic. Then it's Mills. Then it's Hayward. And it's Wade in at the 2. 6 on the shot clock. Lets it go from 11, and that one hits back iron. Cleveland on defense. They defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
Well, Kevin, they constructed a perfect offensive game plan going into that game, and it was quickly apparent how powerless the defense was to stop it.
Powerless is a good way to put it, Steve. We're unlikely to see that many uncontested baskets again anytime soon.
Rondo with the ball. 11 points for him in that last game against Oklahoma City.
Manu Ginobili has always been one of my favorite guys to watch, and an elite shooting guard on the court. I mean, the issue with him has been health. You know, last season he missed about a month with a tweaked hamstring, right as the Spurs went on their rodeo road trip.
And it's good. Cavaliers on D. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Celtics team.
And just to talk about last season, guys, not only did they have trouble with the top two, they couldn't even beat these guys. And they didn't do it once. And a lot of times his first quarter seems to dictate how big of a role he plays later on, and he's off to the good start.
Hayward against Ginobili. And Pekovic kicks to Hayward. That's good from Pekovic on the assist by Hayward. Pekovic has got his second basket of the game. It really lets the air out of your season when you, Clark, can't chalk up a win against another team that's down in the doldrums.
Yeah, that is frustrating for you. I'm sure everybody wants to put all that behind them. It's a new season now.
So it's the Cavaliers now. First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Here's Mills. And the rebound goes to Nowitzki.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
Trying to go for an alley-oop, but excellent defense and anticipation there to stop it. Wade dishes to Mills. Hayward kicks to Wade. No good. Great D that time from Rondo.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
Here's Nurkic. That falls. Nice feed that time from Manu Ginobili.
Sometimes folks forget about his decent mid-range jumper. He can knock those down all game given a chance.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kev, I caught up with Coach David Black. Coach told me that he knows they have a tough assignment in Dirk Nowitzki. We talked about what makes Dirk so difficult to defend against, and he pointed to Dirk's ability to hit jumpers when he is seemingly completely off balance, saying it'll look like he's falling over, then he just turns and flips the ball in. I know I've seen Dirk do that on more than one occasion, guys.
And as always, Doris, thank you.
You know, there were a lot of people, me included, thinking that Cleveland would take a step forward and be a team that could make moves in the East and perhaps get to the playoffs, but injuries and inner turmoil really kept that team from being playoff caliber.
Boston making some changes. Duncan, he's checked in for Nurkic. Ibaka comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. And it's Garnett in for Manu Ginobili. A big group substitution here for Cleveland. Austin, he's checked in for Nikola Pekovic. Evans comes in for Josh Smith. Tony Snell's checked in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Exum in for Patty Mills. And Cleveland ended 10th in the Eastern Conference last year. They got close, but they couldn't sneak into the playoffs.
Well, there would be a lot of shocked analysts if they didn't finish near the top of the East this season. All it takes is one good summer, and your team can jump to the top of the East.
The Cavaliers shooting their first free throws of the night right here.
Well, they were 75% free throw shooting a season ago.
There have been so many questions for the Boston Celtics the past 2 seasons. Who is going? Who's going to stay? Who should they build around? Tough to win with that.
Yeah, you got those kind of questions rolling around. It's hard to find your direction and stay on course.
Here's Exum following the score by Kevin Garnett. Now, here's Exum. That's good.
You know, he was smart to draw his man out to the perimeter. He's giving up too much size to be effective inside.
Agreed. As long as he picks his spots, his outside shot will be hard to block, no matter who's on it.
The next step for the Celtics is going to be getting all this young talent to move together as a unit. Never an easy task for a coach.
The Cavaliers trail by 4. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Austin setting the pick for Exum. Hayward passes to Snell. Here's Evans, and he slams it one-handed. A free run to the hoop and some thunder on the finish.
Not exactly the way the D would have drawn that one up.
And when you got the space, you might as well throw it down. That's what I always used to do.
Now, here's Exum. The pass to Hayward. With 2 seconds left, and the layup is good. Hayward's got his second bucket tonight.
Beautiful finger roll to cap that drive off. He knows how to finish with some flair and flavor, guys.
Tie game in Boston. And the second quarter will be on the way when we come back. And we welcome you back to the NBA here on 2K Sports. If you're just tuning in, this is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Steve Kerr. And we're ready to get going once more. The players having a chance to have a short break and get some rest themselves and get refueled and hydrated with some Gatorade. More terrific basketball in store for us tonight. What do you guys think about the Celtics here in this one?
And they've done a nice job here offensively to establish a rhythm and a pace to this game.
And I like that they're finding ways to score, playing well here, Steve.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So on the floor for Cleveland, T-Wade out there with Exum. Then there's Evans, then there's Haslam, and it's Snell in at the three. Hey guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown so far for the Celtics.
You know what, guys? It looks to me like they're really in sync here, all on the same page. They've already got a bunch of assists.
Yeah, and the fact that they're playing well, close to the hoop, finding points in the paint, I mean, they've got it all going tonight.
Looking at who's out there now for the Cavaliers. Nikola Pekovic comes in for Reggie Evans. And it's Josh Smith in for Tony Snell.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
And it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for Boston. Jeremy Evans comes in for Garrett Temple.
Josh Smith does an awful lot of good things on the floor. As a matter of fact, he's one of the really high-quality stat sheet stuffers in the NBA. But one of the things he doesn't do quite well is shoot three-pointers. And yet he continues to insist that that be a big part of his game.
And here we go. Fast break. Evans has got it. Shot is no good. And Cleveland the other way now. Atlanta will be traveling to face them after this game. They start a three-game homestand with that game. And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Well, thank you, Kevin. There are a lot of questions as to how Dante Exum will develop as a player. He has the skill to be a two-guard, but grew up playing point guard. He would prefer the point, saying that's the position that has got me here. That's what I want to be going forward. We'll see if the coaches agree, Kevin.
We'll see how it plays out. Thanks, Doris. And it's good.
Back-to-back threes for him. Defense is slacking off a little.
It does look like their energy is lacking at this point.
Mills, he's checked in for Exum.
Well, let's take a look at where Boston ended up, Kevin, last year in the league rankings. 10th in free throw percentage, 13th in opponent points per game. As for the rebounding numbers, not as strong as you would think. Top 20 in the league. They certainly are capable of better.
And this is a good shooting team, Clark. It really shows in their free throw percentage. You mentioned they were in the top 10 in terms of free throw percentage as a team last year. I think it's important for this club to really attack offensively. When they do get to the line, they tend to knock down their free throws, and those easy points go a long way. The lead changes hands once again. There has been no separation between these two teams tonight.
What an intriguing basketball game, that's for sure.
Here's Mills. He's covered by Rondo. Mills dishes to Wade. Pekovic against Evans. Smith kicks to Wade. Clock at 6. Fires from the wing. And he recovers it. And the shot is good. Wade's got 7 points in the game. Boston's gotten both of their three-point attempts to go down here in the second quarter.
Celtics had a rough time in the East, and a lot of it was because they just were getting worn down as the game went on. Had a very difficult time after halftime, in fact.
The Cavaliers trailing. Smith with a screen on Ginobili. And the basket by Wade.
Well, it looks like he's finally found his footing in this game. His first quarter was a real struggle, but he's gotten it going now.
Boston with a 21-31 record against the rest of the conference last year, and it was because of what you said, Clark, being unable to fight back.
Yeah, they would just either run out of steam after the half or run out of options at some point later in the game. They've got to find a way to be able to sustain good play for longer periods.
Here's Haslam, and Boston with the rebound. They want to keep rolling here following the win against the Thunder.
And their inside strength was so apparent in that win. They just blocked shots, controlled the lane, did a good job on the glass.
Very alert were they, Steve. Alert, aware, and reacted quickly to shot attempts in the post.
Samuel Dalembert, a 6